Hey guys, welcome to No Cup of the Blondes and Be Explicit and also Be Honest. On this show, we're going to be taking you right through Romania and how things have been done here and how people are doing it, especially Nigerians in Romania and Africans in Romania. On this show, we're going to be showing you some diverse things that Africa do in this and how they survive over time. And today on the show, I'm having one of the finest, one of the girl I've seen in Romania, and I've been doing a lot for herself over time and been doing it extraordinary. On this show today, and this officially being the first podcast of No Cap of the Blonde, Be Honest and Be Explicit, I have with me Augusta.
Hi.
Augusta, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm always fine. Thank you for asking me that. I see you always smiling and everything. Tell me about the smile.
Smile all the time, even when the weather is freezing right now. But I'm trying to smile.
Yeah. Augusta, over time, I've seen you in Romania, and I've actually had some conversation with you. You've been doing well for yourself. And please, can you tell us a bit about yourself so we can get to know you?
Well, I'm Star. I came here for university. Been here almost 3 years now, and I currently teach for a living. So that's what I've been doing.
So you are a teacher right now?
Yes, I am.
Is that what you study in school?
No, I study international business and economics, actually, which is very different from what I'm doing. So, yeah, but that's what I do.
So you want to tell us why you choose this?
Actually, I don't think it's something I plan on doing. I just kind of fell into it. I came here at the height of the pandemic. I was trying to figure out what to do with the work. Getting a job was difficult, and also there's a language barrier. And someone who is very dear to me told me, "You're such a good tutor. Why don't you teach English?" And I said, okay, I would do some research, see if I could get certified. I got certified, but I didn't get a job. I had about 463 rejections from every continent. But luckily for me, a way paved through with the woman who saw my certification, and she reached out to me. She said, hey, I have a kid and I want you to teach. I did a demo class. I didn't even know how much to charge. I didn't even know what to do. Everything was just haywire. And she was like, oh, you're so perfect for this.
Nice.
And that's kind of how we started.
So can you tell us how you go satisfy, like some people watching today, they just want to be a teacher and they're looking like, how do I get certified as a teacher? And
I literally went on Google. I wrote how to get certified as a teacher. And then I saw like some different like companies piling up different certifications. Some were very expensive, like £3,000. Some were really cheap, like $400, $500. And I was like, okay, I would take the cheapest one I could find. And that was like it was an English company in the UK. I reached out to them. I bombarded them with a lot of questions. They sent me a quota. They told me I had to finish the course in 6 months. Because I was so desperate to get a job and I had no income coming in, I had to get it done in 1 month. And when I got certified, I was like, okay, I've gotten certified now. Now it's time to look for a job. So there were other companies that were offering jobs, but for some reason, I wasn't getting the job. Some would say things like, oh, we cannot hire you because you're Nigerian. We can hire you because you're Black, you don't fit the brand. And I was just really getting frustrated at that point. So just go online and try to find whatever avenue works best. And if you can afford it, great. If you cannot, eventually you find something that fits.
Yeah. Like you said, you got a lot of rejection because you were Black.
Majority of the rejection was like, you don't fit into our brand. At first it was, you're not from a British country. Even though I'm Nigerian and we're colonized by the British, so technically our educational system is British curriculum.
Yeah, sure.
Other people were very blunt. Yeah. So if I passed because I use my first name, which is English, I would pass the first interview. And then when they see me, they go, oh, I'm sorry, you don't fit into this. And one lady was even so annoying because I lied on my application. I wrote that I was American. Okay. And she offered me the job. I remember I got the employment letter and she told me we're going to pay you $100 every 3 hours. So at the end of the month, it was supposed to be about $2,400 a month. And then they asked me for my documentation. You know, when you work for a company,
Yeah, sure.
she kept insisting on my passport.
Your passport.
And my passport isn't American, of course.
In Nigeria.
So eventually I let it go. And then I said, okay, I'm going to try applying to other companies. Lying, basically.
Yeah.
And I kept getting offers upon offers. I'm like, okay, so the problem is not me. The problem is either my passport or my nationality. Because some people will say, oh, great, you're American or you're British, but we still don't want you.
Yeah.
Because of your ethnicity. So it got really frustrating, but eventually the way paved.
But you kept on trying and...
Actually, I gave up on trying. It got so bad to the point that I was like, I'm done with this. I'm no longer doing this. And then I remember someone told me, build your own table. Yeah. And I was like, okay, what can I do? I already have one client, but the money isn't enough. I decided to print some flyers and I went around and I stuck them in boxes. And at first, the mistake I did was the flyers were in English. So I didn't get as much callbacks. And luckily, I made a very good friend. And she basically helped me redecorate the flyers in Romanian. And then I started getting a lot more people calling me. So people would call me. I would pick up. I would speak English. They would hang up.
Yeah.
They'll call me or they'll be like, oh, great. And then they'll see me. And then they just assume because of the way I speak, I'm British. So, but eventually people who saw me for me took me in, and those people actually paid more than the people who rejected me.
Yeah. Quick one though. Were you doing all this while you were still in the university?
Yes, because the pandemic was online, so school was online. Okay, so I was in my apartment trying to navigate my way. And remember, when you come into a new country, you have some money with you, but it doesn't go a long way. So I had to make a lot of sacrifices while I was here.
So you want to name the sacrifice?
Well, for one, starving.
Yeah.
You starve for a really long time because you're spreading out. Remember, this is not like back home where you pay rent on a yearly basis.
Yeah.
Or you don't pay for utilities like that. Here you pay rent on a monthly basis. You pay electricity. You pay all of this. So you're stretching out your bills. And it got so bad to the point where I remember I would call back home for help, but not from my family because I didn't want them. People assume the moment you go abroad, you're instantly successful.
Yeah.
Like they don't understand that there are a lot of trials and tribulations you had to go through. A lot of people definitely came through for me. A lot of people helped me, but it did change me. And it definitely taught me to be stronger than I am.
So tell me, you said when you were calling home, and obviously you were at home every day, you were not doing any other job, but you were searching for a job, you were doing some courses online, were cheaper. Was this, you said you were not calling your family?
Yeah, because I didn't want them to know where I was, and I didn't want to ask for help. And if you ask your family for help, first of all, you're already abroad. But I didn't tell anyone I was leaving. I just kind of left.
Without your family?
No, because they get discouraged. And honestly, I get it because when you hear news from the West about racism and, allegations or physical assault towards women, what is the point of going there where you can stay home and be comfortable? But I needed to grow and I needed to see what I was made of. Yeah. So, and a worst case scenario, I would go back.
You will go back to Nigeria?
Yes.
Like you want to leave everything, the school, everything.
Yeah, because if you're not surviving, if you're not thriving and you're constantly in survival, you would end up doing things you don't want to do to stay in the place you were in.
Yeah.
Even though I was abroad, it wasn't exactly comfortable. Like
see now?
Now it's better.
So you're still making a decision?
I'm making a decision to leave or to stay. It still ends up on me, but I came here with intention. I didn't come here to live for a long time. It's never my home. I know that. No matter how much you try to make it comfortable, it's still not your land. Yeah. You're still on permit. Yeah. So I already had this at the back of my mind, before I left Nigeria, that I was coming here for a short period of time. I was going to get as many skills as I can. Yeah. And then if I was to go back home, I had something to fall back on. But if I was to progress to go to somewhere else, then I could use the skills that I learned here. Yeah. Either way is a win-win.
Yeah, but I like to ask you, you got some students here.
Yes.
So how would you feel leaving them when they've already built their English lifestyle around you? And how would you feel?
I mean, my kids are growing every day. The good thing is, even though COVID has ended, I still teach online. So I'm still connected with them. But these kids eventually outgrow me because I want them to grow. And some of my kids are middle school, high school.
Yeah.
They eventually leave. They're like, as much as I have a relationship with them, they're still clients that would move on.
Good. Thank you for that. Also, when the first day I saw you, it was during our graduation. Yeah. And it simply means you've been in Romania for quite some time. And what's your relationship with Nigerians here?
I have very good Nigerian friends. It's a very small circle of Nigerians. In general, I wouldn't say I have a relationship with a lot of them. I have been on the group. I have seen the things they say. Some of them embarrass me. Okay. And I do not want to be part of that shenanigan. So I have a few that I can learn from and can learn from me. I can grow with that are good. But don't get me wrong. Before all of you come for me, let me look at the camera. Before you come for me.
Yeah, tell them.
I'm not saying all of them are horrible. I'm just saying where I am at mentally is not where they are at.
Okay.
If I were to leave to go back home, the Nigerians here, because they're so hell-bent on staying, they discourage you. So that's where. So don't come for me, please.
Okay, don't come for her, but even if you want to. So tell me, I have some friends here, and they said the reason why you're not actually relating with Nigeria here is because you got a lot of pride. How would you define pride to that?
Yes, I'm very prideful. Okay, look into my eyes. I am a very prideful, arrogant Nigerian. A chairman that DJ said, Nigerians wake up and will take a shot of arrogance every day. I'm not prideful in the sense that I feel bigger than you, but I'm prideful in the sense that how I carry myself and how I want people to respect me is the same way all around. When people meet me, if there's anything I've learned from living here is that one of my pet peeves of living in Romania is how my colleagues or people who I meet, they tend to distinguish me from other Nigerians. You're not like them.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're bad. It's just I'm having a lot of self-respect and pride to the point that I want them to look at me differently. And if they respect me, another Nigerian who comes after me would be treated better. Yeah. But if you belittle yourself and you grovel, they're going to take you for granted. And the next person that comes, they're going to treat that person even worse than you.
Have you seen a situation like that?
Yes, a lot of positions actually. I knew someone who was working, and he was working long hours, 12 hours. Who was like in a restaurant or something, and I knew the owner of the restaurant. And whenever I come around with my friends, he treats us with so much respect. He's very nice. And then he was yelling at the colleague, the Nigerian guy, and I said, "You do know he's from?" And he was like, "No, but you're different. So you're more evolved than him."
You got some respect.
Exactly. So I'm like, I need people to say that how you act, it doesn't just affect you as a person, it affects the other people around.
All right. So nice. Okay, like it simply means that you carry yourself different, and you want people to respect that position. Probably sometimes it's just you. So if you call it like, I'm being prideful and any other thing, that's your own definition, right? So this is you. If you cannot be around me because of the way I carry myself, it simply means like you just see yourself the way you are and you don't want to be in the cycle. But you said when you left Nigeria, you didn't tell your family. Was this the same thing in the family also?
No, not exactly. I'm the baby of the family. I've always been spoiled. We're not from a wealthy home, but I've had good people around me that have poured into me. But my family's love for me comes from protection. Yeah. You're a woman. Yeah. So I understand now. I do understand where they were coming from. But back then I didn't, because I just felt, oh, you want to hold me back. But they had every good reason to, because I came here, I could have been murdered. I could have been sexually assaulted.
And you're out here.
Here. And nobody would give a damn because, first of all, you're black. Nobody cares about you. And even if they call the Nigerian was the president, whatever, they won't do anything. So I understand why they had that stance, and I respect it, and I actually appreciate it now. Now that I'm grown, and so
you need to tell them that.
I love you guys so much.
Yeah. Okay. Still talking about your sources in Romania, because so many people really want to learn from you. Someone like me, I keep calling you. I say, hey, you know what? I have a business plan. I want to see you, and sometimes we're not seeing. You've been always like, I want to see you prideful, because anytime I call you or I text you, you're always there to respond to me. You're always telling me, hey, Daniel, okay, come. And the other day I told you, I want to see I'm having this no cap in the blondes behind us and be explicit. And you were like, was it the same business you wanted to discuss with me? Like, simply means you have this retentive memory of the way you do and the way you relate with people. So I just want to ask, why do you choose some people? Because you have some friends. And then you've told me before that the reason you came to, you're staying in the military in Romania, it's because so many people are not visiting you. When you have those friends and you don't feel comfortable when they visit you because you choose them and they visit you. And now you told me you came to military because they cannot come over. So how would your friend feel about this? So you don't care about them too?
No. I care about you guys so much. I love you so much, but I'm very introverted.
Okay.
I get peace of mind in my internal environment when I'm by myself. I feel at 100% when I'm by myself. When I'm constantly surrounded by people, I get really drained. I get tired. And as much as I love my friends, they come and they never leave. So it's not like I hate them. I don't get, it's just...
So if you're her friend, whenever you come, leave.
I love you guys, and I go out and I spend time with them, but I have like a barometer. So I get to like, I'm 100. And then when it gets to like 30%, I need to recharge. And it's hard to recharge because you guys live so close together, and they're always like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Stay with us. And I'm just like, I'm drained. I need to be by myself for a while. But sometimes they don't understand, because a lot of my friends are very extroverted people. They like to go out. They're also on social media. And I'm the opposite. Even though people, when they see me, they assume I'm extroverted.
Yeah.
That's why.
You have a Romanian friend. She's always with you most time.
Yeah.
So if she's always with you, and you guys actually you like sisters, and you sometimes whenever we're having conversation, you always talk about her. And whenever I call you, she's always there. So why is it that you're not feeling that same thing you feel about Nigeria?
Madam gets me. She really does. And she's one of the very few people that have taken her time to get to know me.
Yeah.
For me. Like, I remember one time we're having a conversation. She was like, what do you need from me right now? And I said, don't be offended. I need space. And she was like, I got you. And we can go weeks without talking. And then when we reconnect, it's like we never even left. So sometimes she will be with me. We'll go out together. She knows I hate staying out all night. So she would tell us, okay, let's have dinner at like 6, 7. She knows that my cap is 9, 10. And she's like, okay, babe, we need to go. So she gets me a lot, and I really, really appreciate.
All right. In everything you've been saying so far, Augusta, I really don't know you that much. I just know we chat, you've not mentioned, like, there is a guy that always talk to you. You've always said, girl, are you telling us something?
Nothing, let's be I am a child of God.
So it's like, just girls.
No, the thing is, with men, I tend to put boundaries.
Okay.
So, of course, I have a lot of male friends. I have one of my very good friends. I've known him for almost a decade, more than a decade, actually. I talk to him all the time. He's back home. And he's the only person that I can say knows me, knows every inch of me, all of my deep, dark secrets. Nice. But he also understands that there are boundaries. So if you have a partner, if you're in a relationship, I try not to disrespect my partner by letting everyone in, because the way I live my life is I am because of you are. I treat you how I want to be treated. So if I don't want you to disrespect me in this manner, why should I do that? I would say that I've spoken to not all, some guys, but we're just not on the same
Standard.
not standard per se. Like, there are people here who want to be here, and they want to settle here, and they want to live here they don't want to go back home. They feel like there's nothing at home for them. I am not trying to view the life here. I'm trying to live and experience life like everyone. I'm a transit visitor, if you might say. So I'm not trying to plant my roots here. So that's the difference.
But recently you went to Greece, right?
Yes.
And you were in Greece because you said you wanted to clear up your head. Is it related to your relationship?
No, it had something to do. It had to do with work. Actually, I wouldn't say I was depressed. I was just drained, and I needed to be out of Bucharest.
Yeah.
I needed fresh air, because during that period there were a lot of mean people that I kept like running into.
Yeah.
And they were just draining me, and I just needed to meet it. It's just a different air. Yeah.
So good. All right, nice. I'm really enjoying your conversation. I wouldn't lie about that. You've been very like no cap in that. Just say the way it is. And I believe a lot of Nigerians are in Romania. Definitely, I don't know if they're going to react to this, but your friend also, I think they're going to react to this. That if you stay in the house too much, patio and
What is this guy? I don't hear so much.
I go to your house. So you see, over time, yeah. Whenever I see you, I tend to ask myself like some few questions. The first day we actually met, we had some conversation. We were standing outside. We stood outside for more than 1 hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was outside your house. Is that how you come organized? Because you've never allowed anyone into your house? Because I was surprised. You asked us to stand outside.
Yeah.
Have you been abused before?
No.
So why are you that scared of guys?
I'm not. Okay, first, I am 5'11". I'm a big woman, okay?
Yeah.
I can defend myself. I grew up in the military. I can defend myself. I just have a no penis allowed policy in my apartment. My home is my space.
And for your girls?
With the girls, I'm not having anything. When girls come over, we're having a pajama party. We're talking. We're crying. My home is a safe space, and I'm very particular of who I let into my home. My very good friend, she's also Nigerian Orpheat. I don't know if you know her. Yeah. She is one of the few people, I think maybe in total since I moved here, I've only had like 4 people in my home, and 3 of them are women.
Yeah.
The only other guy, and technically, to be fair, he didn't even enter my apartment. He was literally at the, when you come out of your apartment, the wall, the corridor.
Just the corridor
thing. And the only reason why he was even allowed to come up was because she needed something.
Okay.
So my home is not like I'm afraid of men. Yes, men are terrible, not all of them, some of them. But I'm not particularly afraid of men. I just don't like when people I don't 100% trust.
Uncle Vera, she also told me that you don't go to church.
Of course.
Yeah, you actually told me you don't go to church. What's your relationship with God? Has God been so?
God has been amazing.
But the other day you told me God took everything from you, and then that's why you don't like God.
Well, yes, that was when I was younger. I'm now older, so I have sense.
I'm talking about 6 months ago.
Yes, I was. Yes, let me tell you this. Humans are allowed to make mistakes, and humans are allowed to evolve. Okay?
Okay.
I went through a traumatic experience when I was younger. I lost both my parents at a short period of time. Yeah. Anyone who knew me personally knew that my mother was my left, like she was everything to me. She was like my whole body. And to watching her wither away because she died from cancer broke me, because my mother was very religious. Okay. And I remember it still rings in my head. The day my mom died, she kept screaming, God, why have you let this happen to me? And to me, I'm like, you claim you love your children, and this one is suffering in agony. It makes no sense to me. So I was dealing with my mother's passing, and then my father also passed. And then we were kind of left by ourselves. So of course, it's going to make me question things. My parents were very religious in the sense of my mother she grew up in a Catholic setting, but my father was very traditional. So he always taught us to question everything. Don't just blindly follow things. So that was what I meant, because when you lose both your parents, you're vulnerable. In African culture, you're a woman. The next thing they want to do is to marry you off, because they feel like marriage gives you security. So I wanted to go to school. I wanted to build a life for myself, but it didn't turn out that way.
Yeah, I understand that part also. And then you start questioning God, if God is truly existing, and you don't even have anything to actually prove that it was existing at that time.
I mean, I've always questioned God from a very long period of time. I went to boarding school when I was like 12 in Augusta, and they were telling me to pray to this person who looks nothing like me. So to me, it didn't make any sense. I'm like, okay, God loves all his children, but he's perpetuating so many, horrible things are happening. And when I was younger, living in Nigeria, you don't see racism because we're all blacks, but there's tribalism, right? But it wasn't until you move abroad that it becomes it's just a lot for you to hide. I've had people spit on me here. I don't know their name. It was just a regular guy. I was living at Augusta at the time.
Is it Nigeria?
No, he was a white guy. I was standing waiting for the tram thing, and the guy was talking to me, and I didn't hear. Normally, if I have my headphones, it's very loud. So if you don't tap me, I just noticed there was this huge spit on me. And, if I was back home, the way me would come out and I would beat and slap. But I'm like, I just had to go, you are on a permit.
So guys, forget the fact that she was beautiful. She get with you.
You're on a permit. Do you understand? That nonsense will not happen back home. But you swallow it and you tolerate it because you're in another man's mind. So I just kept quiet and
just lay flat.
Yeah, and the other lady, she was there when it happened. She just she wasn't speaking English. It was just like, oh my God, are you okay? Some teenagers will attack you. Like some teenagers will just walk up to you, throw things at you. And a lot of my friends didn't actually notice what I was going through, because when you talk to them, they're like, we are all kind people. We are all Christian. And then because they were always with me and they saw the treatment I was getting, I think they now realized that it's not all roses and peonies here. So
nice. So also, sorry for a lot of questions. I'm just trying to get to your journey, and most people are actually suffering this, and you're telling them like, if you have issues, you're here on a permit. You understand now? So you just need to calm down, control your emotions, never allow it to get over you. Get that? And have you suffered this kind of suffered this kind of stuff from Nigerians? Yeah. Have you had any issues with any Nigerian in Romania since you've been here?
No. Whenever I see, sometimes I don't know if they're Nigerian, but whenever I see another African, I just go, Hafa. Like, that's just, sometimes they be like, oh, I'm not from Nigeria, I'm from Cameroon or Togo or all of these things. So I've never actually had any problems with any Nigerians ever.
So then, no one has said to your face that you have pride.
No one.
I'm telling you.
I've already explained pride. So, and you didn't say it in a malicious way. Yeah, basically said, you know what, I'm concerned. Yeah. If you come to me and say, I'm concerned, I will like, oh, I get. But if you come to me, I wouldn't even dignify it with the response. I'll just walk away.
Right. Do you know that there was a guy at the point you went for this shooting in, was it Brasov or something? And then they pair you guys together as husband and wife. He's your husband.
I was.
Are you cheating on your guy?
I'm not cheating.
So, do you remember this guy?
Yes, I remember.
Tell us about it, because anytime I remember the first day I spoke with you, he called me, told me, I might get that.
Oh, he's a really nice guy. We actually haven't spoken in a while, but when he met me, we were paired, and then we just started talking. And so we just had fun. He's a really nice guy, but I haven't spoken to him in a really long time.
But you know he liked you then, right?
He did? I know he told me he had a girlfriend at the time, because we were talking.
Okay.
And
you guys were chatting?
Yeah, we're talking even while we're doing the shoot. So he opened up to me and he told me he had a girlfriend who was back home and she was very paranoid about him being here, that he was cheating. So I was like, you just have to reassure her. Women are very emotional. We like to be reassured. That's why your girlfriend will ask you, baby, when was the last time? When did you know you fell in love with me? We'll ask you like 1 billion times. Yeah. Because that's just how we are.
Yeah. So also, Augusta, you said something that when you were a kid or when you were growing up, you actually have these thing about God. So 6 months ago, you still told me this, but now you said you're mature after 6 months. That's capping. Yeah. That's capping.
I don't believe.
So have you been to church?
No, going to church. Okay, so I still don't go to church. I will never go to church. You can come after me on your words. I'm never going to go to church because I don't believe my spirituality has evolved beyond a building. Okay, I believe in Ubuntu, and if you don't know it, go and look it up.
Tell us what's
Ubuntu is basically a South African saying that goes, "I am because you are. I see God in you. I see God in our environment." Of course, I've been to places. I went to the Caribbean. I saw beautiful places. I was like, someone has to have created this. But then you look on the flip side and you see all the atrocities of forget about racism, forget about like all of the murder. Slavery is a problem that I will never understand. Like you cannot, it's not just.
So going to church is slavery?
No, not going to church is slavery. My question towards God wasn't about going to church. My issue with church was the hypocrisy attached to it. They don't teach you to seek God. You need to seek God in silence and in meditation and prayer. You don't have to go to a building to seek God. You can literally, I felt God just literally sitting on the floor in my room and just like being in gratitude.
Holy Spirit carried you.
I don't know if it's holy. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is because I became an agnostic. An agnostic is like, I don't know if God exists. I'm not sure. The problem is people keep saying God is still alive. God exists. But the hypocrisy that comes with your belief is funny to me. You cannot say I'm a Christian, but then you're having sex before marriage. You're lying, you're stealing, you're cheating, you're doing situationships. Too many things like that. And it's the same people who say I'm a Christian. They're the same people that go, what they call, the same people that perpetuate, all of the atrocities that go. So to me, it's if you're really afraid of hellfire, you will not do half of the things you're doing.
So people that go to church that have sex before marriage.
The sex thing is like, it's to me.
No, you have some of your friends, right?
Well, a lot of my friends are not Christians.
So they are Muslim.
No, they don't believe in anything. So, and I also believe that the reason why the West is so successful, even though they are stemmed in religion, they are also very, like, that dichotomy, they're very, very realistic.
About life.
Look at what we're going through. The richest people in Nigeria, they're not pastors. The same people who are charging tuition for 1 million. My point is there's two flip side to it. If you believe in God, I don't have a problem with you believing in God. I believe that something exists. Do you understand? I believe that because every day I wake up and I'm alive. I don't know if it's God. I don't know if God is a man. I don't care. I don't know if God is a woman. All I know is something created this.
Yeah.
But it is not like perfection.
So that thing you believe in, actually, like, because you use an example, and I'm going to bring it back to you. You said some people are Christian, some of them have sex before marriage, even before they go to church the next morning, some sex. Now,
Let's not emphasize on the thing.
Let's take it back.
Okay.
What you believe now doesn't tell you to have sex before marriage. So
No.
That means you're a virgin.
No. That's not what I said.
You're not a virgin.
That is not what I said.
So, but you're not a virgin.
I'm not a virgin, okay? I'm not even going to lie and come on here and say I'm a virgin.
Okay.
I don't like being a virgin, okay? But for those of you who are,
Yeah.
I applaud you because it takes a lot of strength to see a very sexy looking person that you love and you care for and you don't want to jump his bones, okay? My problem is you have the 10 commandments. Do not steal, do not cheat, do not envy, do not commit adultery, and then you're doing it and then you're claiming, I'm a Christian. Could make sense now.
Okay, let me say this quickly. I have someone that said, if you're a married man and have sex with a married person, it's fornication.
Yes.
So if you're unmarried and have sex, is adultery. Mm-hmm. If you're unmarried and you have sex with a married person, it's fornication.
Yes.
And something you ask, what about if you're single and both of you are single and having sex?
The thing is,
fornication.
Now this is the thing. I've been studying a lot of African spirituality. I've joined a community of women.
Yeah.
And there's this very amazing woman she's Yoruba, so older. I call her the guardian of our culture. She basically taught us I cannot pronounce her name, it's too long. But what she said is, when you're having sexual intercourse with multiple people, it drains you eventually. It doesn't just drain you physically, it drains you emotionally, it drains you spiritually. There's a spiritual, I don't know, when you have sex, I don't like calling it sex, when you make love or you have intimacy with someone you love, I believe personally, with the same person, it gets better every time. Because you know each other, there's no hiding, there's no embarrassment. He sees you, you see him in every ounce of him. But if you're having sex just for 10 minutes of pleasure, that's why you have all these men who are in their 40s and 50s. They're coming out, they're angry at the world. They call themselves whatever community pill, I don't know. There's so many pills to keep track of.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you 2 questions here. So, number one, your grammar so much. Are people complaining about it?
I didn't complain about my grammar.
No, I'm asking you because I've actually heard some person who say, when I say, you know, Augusta, she's my very good friend, that girl speak grammar. Where did you get this grammar from?
By learning.
By learning?
Yeah.
Romania American University?
No, it was way before that.
When you chat me sometime, I have to check Google. No capping. When you chat, I have to check Google.
I'm not knocking PG. I'm not knock PG like this. But see, the thing was, when I was back home in Nigeria, I remember I was working as an usher. You know what usher, they go for this event, eco hotel.
Yeah.
And I would see all these amazing men and women. I look at the company they keep. There's no curse words. There's no, some of them, they will speak, the pidgin will still enter, but like, there was just this class about them. And I remember going up to a woman that they gave her an award. She was like 27 at the time. And I was like, I think I was like 18. And I said, I want to be like you when I get older. And she laughed because she was like, maybe worry again, no. Forget all this
composure and everything.
She was like, but she had to change and reinvent herself to get to where she needed to be.
She's your role model?
She's my role model because I still speak to her to this day.
That's why you say you're angry. Was that
I have a community of women that I admire and that I learn from. Because if there's anything I've learned, my scientific coordinator for my bachelor's thesis, she told me, your degree will not get you far. Your degree is just to show that you went to school, you understand 1 + 1 = 2. But actually how you compose yourself, how you act, how you dress, actually pushes you ahead of what you thought it would be. And she was telling me, women always mistake that for hair, makeup, nails. It's none of that. It's how you carry yourself as a person.
I know, like, I've seen a lot of women before and I'm like, man, this is the right woman. You understand now? And not just the way she presents herself, but the way she carried everything around her, especially the people around her. She doesn't believe in actually growing alone. And then she feel like, if I'm growing on this line and I'm just going to have people. You understand now? So, are you also like that? Are you growing alone?
I believe you do it in both ways. I would say this period has been an intense growth. Like there's this intense need for me to change and be better and to reinvent myself, because I wish I knew everything I knew now when I was 17, 18, 19. I think I would have gone further. But if there's anything is, I always tell myself I forgive myself for the mistakes I made in survival mode. Because when I look at the 17, 18-year-old me, I did not have sense at all.
Yeah.
Like no sense whatsoever. Now I know who I am as a person. Now I know what I want. Now I know that if I am attached to a man, I can contribute. Instead of just fixating on my looks.
Yeah.
Or it's just different. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a different. So if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I'm not going to stress myself over someone else's action. I can only control what I can do. And let's say, okay, you're cheating, and I find that, okay, thank you, it's been a great run.
Break up.
Yes, and I'll move on.
You advise girls that say a guy cheating, their boyfriend cheating.
He has no respect for you. Zero.
But some say loving a girl doesn't mean, cheating on a girl doesn't mean you don't love her. You've heard
That's
that saying before.
That is BS. Because if she does this, I always ask her, if she does the same thing to you, would you tolerate it? If you cannot say yes, if hurting me is not hurting you, then you don't love me, you're using me. That's how I see it. So if you cannot tolerate what you're doing to me, then let's pack our bags and baggage.
Okay. So this one, yeah. You said you've been to the Caribbean, and I knew you were in Greece recently, and I know you love traveling also as part of, despite the fact you don't like going out. But tell me, who and your parents are not there. Is it teaching you actually? Is it the kids you're teaching that actually bankrolling you or what? Your boy.
Of course. What else would bankroll me?
So I don't know.
I don't have a sugar daddy. Sugar daddy.
I just
directly for me.
I just want to know, like,
wait. Sugar daddies. Wait.
Okay. Tell the guy.
Sugar daddies. I'm very lazy to be a sugar baby, but I would. But let me just be honest. Yes, the teaching bankrolls me. I'm on a very tight budget. I don't have Kylie Jenner's money, and I don't even have what's the most successful Romanian celebrity?
Right, I read it.
Like his net worth. I don't have that, but I'm very meticulous with my money. Yeah. So I know, and if I'm traveling, I'm not just waking up one day to say, "Oh, I'm traveling tomorrow." It takes planning. Me traveling earlier this year meant I've been planning since January of last year. If I'm traveling again this December, I've been planning since last year October. And also, I try to use the benefit of your business. If you have a business, you can file for a travel credit card.
Tell us about
that you pay back. So if you have a business that is registered, not just in Romania, in the EU in general.
Okay.
So you try to take advantages. So if I see someone who is traveling, I'm the kind of person that I do not envy anybody.
Yeah.
If I see someone doing something, I go and ask a question. How did you get this? And a lot of these people are really ready to teach you and to tell you, this is what you should do.
Yeah. But tell me, I want to know the process. How do some people want to learn how you actually register your business.
Okay.
And what's the process of, as a business person, getting the EU business card in here in Romania? Can you just
So to register the business was actually through a friend's lawyer. They asked for your permit and your international passport, and then your another document. Oh, I forgot the name of the document. They asked for your permit, and then they asked for like the name of your company. Yeah. So they go and do the because you do not speak their language. Yeah. So they go and do the registration for it. It takes months, and then when you file, you notarize your company, you open a business account, you have a CPA. As long as you're paying your taxes as a foreigner, because you pay 16% tax, you pay 3% personal income tax.
Personal income tax.
Yes.
16%.
Yes. So once you're paying that, you can then show proof. You use this, it's called EU, it's for business, EU business, whatever. As long as you're paying your tax and they can track that income is coming in, you're not doing anything shady, because everything is, EU, everything is interconnected.
Yeah.
So once they track it, you can actually get credit with your bank. BCR has it, ING has it. ING is actually the best business bank because their rates are lower compared to BTR or BT Transbank. Even Revolut that we use all the time has all of this benefit. And then you get points. Those points track into money. Also, if you're paying for your tickets, you buy your ticket months in advance. And then when you get to the counter, you ask them to bump you up.
Nice.
And they refund you if the flight cancels your ticket. I had a flight with Lufthansa. They cancelled my ticket. Okay. They refunded me. So yeah.
So that's great. It's quite educating, insightful talking to you. But right now we're gonna go on a short break and we'll be right back. Keep learning, keep knowing, keep educating yourself. It's SMDthaboss and I'm still here. It's Augusta. Oh, welcome back, guys. And don't forget, there's still no capping, the blondes behind us, and be explicit. And overall, our amazing guest has been so fantastic. And yeah, she said don't come for her, and I'm seeing some people are going to come for her. And yeah, I'm just saying it from the religious perspective, from the Nigerian community. I'm seeing some people coming for you. But how do you handle the pressure though if they're actually like seeing stuff on social media and people reacting to that? Our podcast and saying that she was just capping. She was like, how do you manage this?
Honestly, I don't know, because I've never been in that position before. So I'll probably just log off Or I would just, if you come with me with a genuine argument and you're saying things that you truly believe, not because someone told you, then you can talk to me. You don't have to but I don't think I don't know how I'll handle it because I've never been in that position before. So
Yeah. So also, I noticed that there've been a lot of music shows, African shows, Afro pop and everything happening in Romania since summer. And our little research shows that you've actually been to one or something, and you stopped going.
not that I stopped going. So I've been to 2 shows actually. The first one was hosted by a Cameroonian girl and it was really good. I went there for a couple of hours. The food was great. The vibe was great. I danced a lot. The second one, my friend also attended and I went there to support her. I'm just not generally an overnight partying person. If it's overnight, I'm already out. Okay, I cannot be awake all night. It's just my body cannot handle. Maybe when I was younger, yes. But now, the last time I went all night, I went all night with 2 of my girlfriends and I fell asleep in the club with the music.
With the music.
And everything. That's my body is telling me, Otito.
Oh, my lolly.
It's time to
That means my girl.
It's time to go. Do you understand? So now, if it's dinner, if it's brunch, definitely. If it's to stay there to maybe 10, 11, even midnight, I can manage. But all night, my body cannot handle that.
Yeah. Okay. Augusta, I really appreciate your time, the way you've actually spoke the truth and everything you're saying. You have a lot to offer. If you want to advise the people, the Africans in Romania, not just Nigeria, I want you to talk, if you can just take 1 minute to talk about the relationship of Nigerians and the rest of Africans, that you've seen, and if you're pleased with it or you're not pleased with it.
I don't know because I only know very few. But I would say that we need to do better with how we communicate with each other. I'm also begging the Africans who come here and then they want to integrate. There's nothing wrong with integrating. Just don't leave your culture behind to try to fit in because they will never accept you.
Well, who we are.
Whoever they are, you need to stand in your traditions and stand in your, and it's okay if you make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. We're human. Of course you're going to make mistakes, but I think what hurts me the most is when I meet a lot of Africans that they've lost their way in trying to stay here.
I'm becoming who they are not.
I'm becoming who they're not, or trying to fit in. And it can be, I get it, peer pressure, you're in a predominantly white country. I get that. But it takes a lot of strength to stay true to who you are. So please.
So please be be yourself, and don't try to adapt into a culture.
No. Then adapt. It's okay to adapt.
Okay.
But don't completely lose every ounce of yourself.
And don't forget that you're first African, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks so much, Augusta. And definitely I'm gonna have you back on this show. And like she said, be yourself. And we're still gonna talk more about the religion thing, and we're gonna talk about your relationship also with people. We're going to talk more about it, and also we're going to talk about the reason why you actually felt like leaving a Nigerian Romanian group, and probably because most of the people there were not even thinking right. They're not thinking right, and that's what she said. No capping, and she's unapologetic, and she said what she said.
I said what I said.
Yeah, she said what she said, and we're looking forward to have you back here. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, and we really appreciate you. And by the way, you look amazing.
Thank you.
You look amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, if people wants to learn about how to register their company and also learn more about being a teacher in Romania, being an English teacher, if they DM us today and tell us, oh, I would like to see that girl, I would like to have a communication with her about the European business card, are you open to talk to them?
Sure. I am.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. It's been an amazing time with Augusta. And you know one thing, her smile, look happy. Even you know, say her smile has been so amazing. And she's spitting the truth. And if you think what she's saying is not what you feel free to DM us and we'll bring you on the show to talk back, because this is no capping, but blunt, be honest, and be explicit. And don't forget, my name is SMDthaboss. We'll catch you again.